carding beetles is just one of the chores of being a coleopterist, and you might think, why bother? Well, I tend to try and do a really good job of carding, but my ethos is spend less time carding and more time out in the field doing surveys, doing identification work. So I think if you've got a collection of just one or two nicely carded specimens, that's all you need. You don't need, if you have badly carded specimens, you might actually find you need a dozen sort of things. So I think a few nicely carded specimens is the way to go. So that's why I take sort of a bit of care over doing it. Now this carabid here has been collected by Neil and kept in a pot with, in the bottom of the tube it's tissues sort of sopping with acetic acid or pickling vinegar basically, and that's kept this beetle preserved and relaxed, so it'll all be easy to card. But because it's vinegar, and this is a specimen that you want to survive in a museum for decades, first you sort of wash off the vinegar, and then before carding it, I'm going to, before I try and stick it down on the card, I'm going to get all the appendages, extend all the appendages, so the legs. So I'm sort of turning on its back and just with a brush just sort of tease out the legs so they all yeah. So they're simple as that. I mean, all the legs and the antennae are now extended, and turn it back over and they're all still extended. And now I can get some glue. Now this is, I use this Scotch, I think it's called Scrapbooker's glue, but it's a water-based clear glue. It's the old sort of school glue. And I'll brush it over the card. And I'm just putting a thin coating of glue all over.
And you water that down, do you, Mark?
I do water it down, yeah, but I'd have it thicker for bigger beetles ideally, and thinner for really small beetles.
Yeah.
And there's a bit of a trick to this, which is you want to use the minimum amount of glue. Oh, that's the stuff.
I can never find that.
You want to use the minimum amount of glue so that it doesn't dry out too quickly. Gives you enough time to sort of work with, enough time to work with the beetle, getting it in position before the glue's dry. But not so much glue that you end up with a beetle covered in glue, because glue will sort of just obscure the identification characters. So because I've chatted a bit, I'm just going to top this up. Make sure we've got enough. Okay. And having done the preparation of getting this thing with its legs out, it should now be a simple job of just picking it up, dropping it on the card. And I usually do this under a microscope, because I'm usually working with much smaller beetles. But then I just drop the feet down into the glue, and just touch them down into the glue, and they should just stick and hold. And as long as the glue's still wet, you've got to move reasonably quickly to get all this done before it dries out. Slightly recalcitrant antenna here. Okay, that's down. And that is enough. I'm now going to pretty it up by making it nicely symmetrical, but this is all really superfluous. you know, that is now a specimen on which you can see all the identification characters you need, and making it symmetrical is just for a nicer looking specimen. Okay, that is a carded beetle. Take a pin. Find the hole, here we go. And that, as a specimen now, just needs to be left to dry out. So I wouldn't put it straight away into a store box or into a cabinet drawer. I would either just leave it out like that for a few days, or put it in a kind of loose-fitting cardboard box. It's not in an airtight box. Let it dry for a little bit, and then once it's dried, that is a specimen which will survive in a museum for a couple hundred years easily. Okay.
Cheers.